Hey, how you guys doing? Welcome back to another episode of Soldier Talk the podcast. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant McPherson, and on this show we discuss military topics with current and prior service members. Today I have a special guest with me. I have Captain. You're a captain now, right? Johnny.
Lieutenant promotable, man. I should be captain here in, I think, January. Well, it is January. Next 60 days.
Okay,
So it's coming soon.
Okay, okay. Sir, can you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, no problem. Right now, I'm a first lieutenant promotable, Johnny Johnson. I'm a 36 Alpha. That's a financial manager in Dothan, Alabama. The 787 CSSB. Currently, I'm a reserve officer. I've been in the Army for about 10 years, half enlisted, half officer. It's been a pretty good experience. I met Sergeant McPherson here when we was in ROTC together, and we became really close. I helped him out with his run, PT, and his mentality and everything. Very receptive to a lot of it. I've seen he's gone and done greater things. And yeah, man, I'm just blessed to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. So kind of explain to the people. Okay, so where you from?
All right, so I'm a military brat, man. So I was born in Fort Erin, California. My mother's from Los Angeles, and my father's from Chicago. And he was stationed in Fort Erin for his first duty station. He met my mother, and from there, just kind of like bounced all over the place. Texas, Germany, Colorado, eventually Fort Benning, Georgia, ultimately Phoenix City, Alabama. Um, I like to call Phoenix City home. That's where I graduated high school, college, had my first child, and I went to school down the street there too as well. So yeah, man, I like to call Alabama home, man. It's definitely the last stop.
Okay, so I kind of want to get into what led you up to the decision. You got me on speakerphone?
I do, brother. You need to take you off?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay. I kind of want to get into the decision you made to what made you make the decision to join the army.
To join the Army, I
Mhm.
come from a military family. So my father, he was in the Army for 24 years in infantry. My oldest brother, he joined the Army along with my youngest brother. The only reason why I was the last one to join, because I am the middle child because I wanted to go play college sports. But but yeah, all the men in my family have joined. It's all I know. Uh, I'm just a big believer in discipline. I've always liked structure, and it's always been something that came smooth to me, something real easy. All I didn't know I was going to join when I was like 18, 19 years old, but when life started getting difficult, and I knew that I was good at something, and that was being a soldier, because my whole life I was raised to be one. I went for what I knew.
Okay. So uh when you first joined, okay, so I know uh did you enlisted first, right?
I did. That's correct.
And you enlisted as what was your MOS?
I was human resources. I was a 42 Alpha human resources for the Alabama National Guard for a 20 Special Forces Group in Gaston, Alabama.
Okay. So
Yep, yep.
and then you decided to go to college.
Yeah.
So okay, so as you know, yeah, I met you at Alabama State. So you was pretty much already in the ROTC program. So was that something that just led you to the ROTC program, like the opportunities and stuff like that?
I knew it was something I wanted to do. I didn't necessarily know exactly how I wanted to accomplish it. And going back to school, I knew that was the first step. I knew I wanted to do ROTC. I know I didn't want to do OCS. So, a little background is I joined the National Guard first. I went to junior college to play a little basketball. Realized I wasn't going to the league. Joined the Alabama National Guard. Then I came back, and then I enrolled into Alabama State. When I did that, that's when I looked into the ROTC program and thought it'd be something I can do. So I think the day I really made the decision, I remember being a private at the range, and just we was there just really early, a whole lot earlier than we had to be, just shivering in the cold, shivering in the cold. And I seen all the lower enlisted people, they outside sitting on the bleachers shivering in the cold, and all the higher ranking people were just inside the vehicles and the warm vehicles, just just as blissful as they want to be, man. I just remember sitting there. I don't care what I got to do, man. I'm gonna get there. And sure enough, man, that happened. So now, whenever those situations present themselves, we all shivering, or we all inside the vehicle. It's not a separation of the two, because we all men and women when we take his uniform off, and that's one thing I just really wanted to be promote when I became an officer, just to promote that equilibrium that we have, because it's just our job titles and what we do separates us, but we're no better than one another.
You right. You right. So that kind of would, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of would have made me not want to be an officer.
Yeah.
Because I know you took it to where like you feel like the officers had an easier job, or they was like too good to be in the cold with you guys, but that would have turned me off from wanting to be an officer. I like, nah, because I'd rather be down, boots on ground with the soldiers anyway.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah. See, and the thing about it is that that's cool too. Like I wanted that. I wanted to do that. I embraced that when I was enlisted. It's like, you know what, officers, man, this, that, and the third. But in reality, officers are the one that make the rules. They create those changes. You know, if I want to make the change, I have to be in a position to where I create the change. So that's what's happening. I know that I'm not going to change who I was. And a lot of people always carry their next rank in their PC. You know, I carry my PFC rank inside my PC, so that way I never forget where I come from. And
Okay.
I know that, for example, today we're doing the inventory. So, man, I know you was calling me earlier. I'm actually at drill right now, man. So doing inventory, I'm out there with them,
What type of
counting and
inventory?
everything.
Change of
Oh man,
command?
100% change
Oh,
of command, 100% everything. I was doing math earlier today. We're doing GP mediums tomorrow. We got to tag them and bag them, bro. So yeah, we're out here, and it is not warm, but it got to get done. It doesn't matter. We need the bodies to get it done. Let's just get the work done. And then they see a couple O's out there, and they see some soldiers out there, not O's and E's. They see soldiers out there. It's going to motivate more people to get up off their ass and come do something.
you're right. So
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna go. So since you guys got a little background about Lieutenant Johnson and stuff like that, and where you from and stuff like that, kind of want to get into what this video about. So when I first met him, we was in the R2C program, and he was pretty high speed when it came to PT and stuff like that. So that what made me reach out to him to kind of get the people some tips or pointers on how to get better at their PT. So are you still running the 13-minute 2 mile or what?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. Health is wealth. I'm pretty rich. Yeah, man.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
still doing it.
oh,
And
okay.
go
So
ahead.
as far as the ACFT, okay, so you guys know that it's a six event test or whatever, and it's 6 events. So what's your favorite event, sir?
I would have to say it's the sprint drag carry. Easily, easily. I think that is a good Army test,
Okay,
personally.
so why is that your favorite event?
It just requires, if you do it correctly, you can do it all on the same tone. It's all about your approach with it. And it's one of those things that it's going to push you. It's not going to require you to do it for a very long time, like the 2 mile run or something that's just more brute force, kind of like the hand release push ups. Sprint drag carry is a culmination of everything that's required of you as a soldier. Everything from you carrying the kettlebells, that could be water. You having to straddle, that's you probably having to maneuver some difficult terrain. Everything from the sprint to what was it? The even starting off on your stomach and then getting up to go sprint, because that can be something too as well. Me bounding. I think that's just a good way to test a soldier's ability, maneuverability as well, and it's it's very crucial.
Okay, so what like as of today? So what's some of the things that you do to stay in shape, to overall stay in shape on a day to
uh,
day basis?
on a day-to-day basis,
Mm-hmm.
man. I'm not really a weightlifter.
Mm-hmm.
I work more calisthenics, so I'm just really big on staying consistent with my push-ups and my sit-ups and my squats, and Um, Flexibility, most important. Just finding that center. Yoga, I really recommend hot yoga too as well. I sit in the sauna a lot. Yeah, I sit in the sauna a lot. So the sauna, the steam room, help my cardiovascular out, trying to strengthen my VO2 max. Anything that I can do consistently. That's the goal. It's not necessarily what I'm doing, it's what I can do consistently. What can I do every day? If it's just 10 sit ups, then it has to be 10 sit ups every day. But find something and stick to it. Just be a lot better than you were the day before. That's all I try to do, man. So the day before I didn't do a push up, I try to at least do 25 push ups, just something. But the biggest thing is that flexibility, man, because as we get older, if we don't use it, we will lose it. That is a thing. So,
Hey,
highly recommend the older you get, man, you gotta stay flexible. Start in the pool, shallow pool. If you start in the pool and you're shallow, in shallow water, you can pretty much stretch any and everything. All right. Then you want to transition to being out of the pool and stretching consistently as well. But you want to stay flexible. You want to stay agile. Work your hips out. Yoga, CrossFit, those things, man, that agility. I think the aesthetic of the athlete now, I think is just the best possible way an athlete should probably present themselves. Because before 20 years ago, being big and brolic was the way. But now, like you got your John Morants and your Ronaldos, that tall, lean look is the look now, and is actually preferred.
how tall is Ja Morant? God,
He's about my height, about
about
6'3", 6'4".
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you right about that because I don't really stretch too much, and we was supposed to do we had like a football exercise one morning, and I got out there trying to do some stuff, thinking in my mind I'm still like kind of young, and man, I got tricked real quick.
Yeah, man. It remind you that Grey Hump will pull a hammy, man.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that flexibility, man, is important. You'd be surprised watching TV, sitting down, just stretching, just
Hmm.
constantly stretching, and that in itself feels like a workout. So that's a good start. That's a good start.
Hmm. You right.
Yeah, man.
So so give the people some tips on like how you was just saying. So you would say like some tips on what they would do, like just try to stay consistent at just uh whatever you do, just try to be better at it the next day. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want it to sound too generic like that, but I think the best thing is definitely your circle. I mean, with the pandemic and with the way life is now, life is kind of promoted to be more isolated, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of walk it your own self, do it your own way. But with that being said, you can be your biggest motivator and also your biggest critic and also your biggest distraction as well. So there can be some days where you be like, I just don't feel it. There's nobody else holding you accountable besides yourself. And if you convince yourself that that's the right decision to make, you're not going to be putting in the work that you plan to put in. So whoever you're around is who you become. That is so big. The music you listen to defines who you are too as well. The things that you do. So it might sound corny, but you gotta fake it until you make it, man. Be somebody else if you want to do something different. Constantly be reading, listen to different philosophies, listen to different viewpoints. You know, don't beat yourself up for not getting it done. Understand why it did not get done, and then don't make the mistake again. And just try to finish it. Finish what you start. Set expectations. Follow through. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds redundant, but I promise you, man, the small things take care of the big things every time. Now, as far as young soldiers in their military career, I have one piece of advice. That's it. Stay in shape. That's all. That's the advice. Just stay in shape. Soldiers, stay in shape. And if you can do that, you'll be afforded so many more opportunities than your peers. Because before in the past, young people, it's kind of implied. Yeah, they're young and dumb, but they can run. They're strong. They're used for grunt work. Like I said, once again, that aesthetic has changed. You kind of get young people, they're more like lazy and they're out of shape. They're just, video game nerds type deal. That's the reputation the new generation is getting. So imagine if you was a diamond in the rough and you wasn't decent shape, you will be afforded a lot more opportunities than your peers. Trust me.
Yeah, you definitely right about that.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
so far as the ACFT, so I really wanted to kind of get into like certain exercises that they can do to actually become better at the ACFT. But
Yeah.
yeah, so far as I'm just going I mean like how I do, like I actually do each event. Like in order to get good at the ACFT, I would suggest just practice at the actual ACFT. So you don't have to you don't have to wait to the ACFT to give yourself an ACFT. So you can do it on your own time. Like I do, I actually give myself uh the actual test, and I actually kind of do them in sets. So I might do 3 sets of sprint, drag, carry, and then do a run, and just kind of break it up like that, and then you will find yourself getting better at it.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So,
Definitely, man.
mhm.
So I recommend whenever anybody like they ask for training for the ACFT, I say this. So the first thing you need to do is join some type of like figure out a sport that you like and join some type of rec league. It can be like a football rec, summer league or church league, basketball, kickball, dodgeball. Because when you're a part of a team and you're committed to something, it gives you a reason to go work out. I mean, you have to have something to work towards. A lot of people say, "I want to get in shape. I want to get in shape." They get in the gym, and then they lose that weight. Then they start working out. Working out is a lifestyle, constantly staying in shape. And these things that we do now for the ACFT, you do in sports. So if you played soccer, you're performing the sprint, drag, carry, the agility portion of it whenever you run up and down the field, you know. And for basketball, you're doing that too as well. For football, you're doing all of these motions that we do within the ACFT. So I recommend that. Along with that, with you being a part of a team, you're going to be held accountable by your teammates, meaning that you're going to have to do work off the field, off the court. You're going to have to get into the gym, and you have those games to really see how far you've came in your workout progress to see how in shape you are. So when the ACFT finally do come around, you've been focusing on something else so hard that when this simple ACFT military test presents itself, you're going to blow it out the water because you hold yourself up to such a high standard by playing with your rec league and you guys are constantly pushing each other. You might even be good and win a championship. You know, that's what I did. And I highly recommend that to anyone, man, for real, because it's not really hard. It's just hard to stay consistent.
You're right. So there you guys go, man. Lieutenant Johnson just gave y'all some pointers on what to do. He suggested the yoga stand and flexibility if you're getting older and stuff like that. So in closing, sir, you got anything for him?
Yeah, man, in closing, I really, really, really advise everyone who's listening to adapt a Stoic philosophy. Study your Marcus Aurelius, your Senecas, your Lao Tzu's. Really take a deep look into yourself and understand that you can only control what's in front of you. Live in the present, soldiers, and stay adaptable. Other than that, peace and blessings to your families, and I pray you all get everything you want out of this military.
Okay, appreciate that, sir. So make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys follow the podcast on Instagram at Soldiers Talk the Podcast. And this has been another episode of Soldiers Talk the Podcast. And I'll see you guys in formation.